Alright folks, it's me, Mo. I just wanted to do another episode of the Yankee White Security Clearance Racketeers. This episode is about Northern Arizona University and their complicity in security clearance compensation theft, along with the Polish organizations that work with security clearance compensation, including Bill Bernanke, his daughter slash niece Lilia Bernanke, as well as a lot of their family. They basically were trying to force an arranged marriage with me with one of the ladies from their family, or else I won't get my security clearance adjudicated. And the reason they want to do that is because they want to be entitled to half of my security clearance compensation. I obviously am not interested in an arranged marriage, specifically not with lunatics or severely autistic individuals. Lilia Bernanke, like usual, has been stalking me and being abusive and being really cringy and insulting people that I know, people that I may or may not be romantically involved with, people that are family to me, people that I grew up with, just to try to eliminate competition and bring herself back up as a front runner candidate for some sort of relationship with me. It's really disgusting. For years and years, she has been on my ass trying to force and coerce some sort of relationship. She does that by punishing me if I say no, and she does so by acting very abusive to me as well as people that I know. If I dare, remind her that I'm very much not interested in dating somebody severely autistic, and it's an awful malignant tumor kind of an individual. I mean, there's some sort of trust thing going on within her military unit where everybody just backs her up no matter what, and pampers her even when she ruins things for them, even when she ruins their opportunity to make some money. Because the fact of the matter is, if they're supporting her, then I won't be supporting them. And those are people that I really like. Those are a really sharp crowd. Some of them, they're not all nepotistic idiots, daughters of a former treasurer of the United States or former cabinet member or whatever. And I'm very blessed to have been put in a position where I get to work with individuals that the elites put them in these positions because they say, hey, like, I want the best for you. I want you to work this kind of position within this kind of organization. And I'm very blessed to be among these folks. But, obviously, to some extent or another, you're going to have some Nepo babies, idiot people like Lilia Bernanke who just start smearing feces and throwing tantrums when I tell them, no, I don't want to date you. Yes, I already know you're married / engaged to Ben, one of her coworkers. And he's a nice fella, it's kind of awful that he's somewhat involved by it tangentially, and it's like, he knows better. He's not a dumbass. It's just one of those things where it's like, well, what can you do? What is he going to tell her? Stop being stupid? Like, some people are just stuck. So, that's part of it. The other part of it has been NAU trying to slyly out me as mentally incapacitated. And the way they do that is, let me give you an example. In my English class, we're doing lessons on grammatical correctness and whether or not we should or shouldn't use double negatives, whether or not we should split infinitives. And, obviously there are moments where using a double negative in the English grammar is conveys emotion, right? Like if you say, do you want to go get some dinner? And then your friend would be like, well, I don't want to not get dinner. What they're effectively conveying is like, it's not that I don't want to get dinner. It's not that I do want to get dinner. I'm somewhere in between and I'm undecided, whether it be because they're already full or whether it be because they feel disgusted, blah, blah, blah. So it conveys emotion, right? And they're trying to out me as autistic and say that I don't have emotions. And what they did is this. The teacher effectively put on a PowerPoint presentation where she coached us that it's grammatically incorrect to say, to use a double negative no matter what, right? And she gave us homework that same day, and she said, send in a response, work with a partner, send in a response about why you do or don't think it's appropriate to use double negatives, right? And that whole day she was coaching us, hey, it's grammatically incorrect to use double negatives. Now, she's been acting really sketchy, that teacher. She even sent me nude videos of herself, some sort of AI sex sort of scheme, and I was just not into it. And so I passed, right? And so already she's on my sketchy side, and I was just like not having it. And so when I submitted the homework, I made it very clear. I was like, hey, so sometimes using grammatically incorrect conventions to convey a thought is necessary because it conveys emotions. Now, it's not something you would necessarily write up, or it's not, you wouldn't break grammatical conventions when you're writing up a scientific article. Maybe you write a whole paragraph dancing around that emotion and basically describing why, maybe you do want to have dinner, but why you also don't want to have dinner, because using a grammatically incorrect English would basically make your paper look bad. And so you have to dance around that fact, and you have to use very correct grammar, and you have to dance around emotions when you're writing up a scientific paper, and you have to convey that in a very autistic-ish fashion. You have to convey your thoughts very grammatically correctly, and so that thoughts can be taken at face value. They're not open to interpretation. You just let a nerd scientist read your science article and they know exactly what's going on. And so that's how that's supposed to work, right? But I also said, hey, it depends on the context. If you're talking to a buddy, if you're writing an informal email, if you're using some sort of web messenger to chat, have a quick back and forth chat, then of course, who cares? Go ahead and break grammatical conventions. Nobody's gonna police it. We're all human, and emotions are part of our communication. It's why we use facial expressions. It's why we move our eyes in certain ways. It's why we use certain tones while we speak. But she literally coached us the exact opposite way for our homework. She coached us the exact opposite. She's like, it's completely incorrect. You're not allowed to use double negatives. You're not allowed to split infinitives. And I was kind of onto her. I kind of knew she was a part of that scheme, working with Sayef Abdullah, Saiful Haq, my own mother, Sausan Hamad, Tasneem Haloum. I already knew she was working with them to kind of, because they've been trying to come up with some sort of scheme to say, oh, hey, he's autistic, we need to put him under a conservatorship. Oh, he's autistic, we need to set up a trust where we can fund private investigators to follow him around and stalk him all the time. Oh, we need to fund his own sister to be in the classroom with him. Oh, we need to fund random kiddos from McClintock High School to be in the classroom with him, because they're just looking out for his best interest, right? And so it's really cringy, it's really stupid, it's a really desperate last-ditch effort, similar to what the Bernankes are doing in the 612th ACOMS unit down at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. It's very similar, very cringe, desperate effort to try to go for a cash grab, right? And it's very politicized effort. They're bribing NAU officials, they're bribing NAU teachers. They got NAU teachers dropping their panties for me. And I'm just putting it all out there because I want to get ahead of this and say, hey, it's very obvious what the fuck you're doing. Fuck you, no. And so the day I submitted the paper, just hours later, we had class. And in that class, she was backpedaling the whole time. She put on a whole nother PowerPoint presentation. She went over the same exact shit we went over the last time. But she was like, oh, it's totally okay to break grammatical conventions because, in a non-autistic way, you have to convey emotions. You have to convey thoughts. You have to convey messages this and that way. And so not only are these individual teachers putting on little efforts to try to get away with shit, but they're also working together, right? My anthropology teacher will talk to my Spanish teacher and have my Spanish teacher try to recommend an anthropology book to me, et cetera, right? So they're trying to create some sort of teacher network where they go, oh, we're all teachers and we're all looking out for Mo. And it's like, fuck you, this is college. I'm just attending a lecture. I don't even need to know your name. You don't need to know my name. You just want money, bitch. And so, I think that's enough information for this time around. I just wanted to get ahead of it. Saif ul Haq is still sending around his bimbo wife, the prostitute, to try to seduce me, and she's putting on a whole, crying show, and she's acting super desperate, and she's in my Spanish class, and she tries to be my partner when somebody else with her same name was told to be my partner. She jumps at the opportunity and rushes to try to be my partner, and it's all so fucking stupid and cringy and gross and weird. She lives in the same dorm complex as me. She lives with my brother's sister, my brother's wife, believe it or not. And so, they're dorm mates, and my brother's wife, has been really fucking annoying, really fucking cringy, and really braggy about the fact that she's part of the intelligence community and she's gonna try to rob me too. And my sister Tasneem Halloum put on her little, what's that? Lauren Boebert or some sort of politician. She put on her little politician disguise, like, look at me, I'm big and I'm famous. And it's like, you don't even have your own thoughts. You don't even have your own belief system. You don't even have your own moral compass. You just do what your little gang of fuck politicians do, because you want to be a part of something big. But she doesn't even do the right thing. And so, like, I don't see myself congratulating her on being a politician. It's kind of cringy. But she was stalking me at Target the other day. She was waiting near the exit, waiting for me to finish checking out so she could walk right next to me as I exited, so she can put on her little act of, oh, I'm just looking out for my brother. The same way my sister Noor Halloum is stalking me in my athletic training class, and tries to sit close by me at the lecture. I had my seat. I've been sitting there for a while. And in college, everybody just sits in the same fucking seats. It's not like everybody's playing musical chairs every time. And so she missed the first class. The second class, she shows up all out of breath and shit, like she just ran to class, and she sits right nearby me. I make polite small talk. She's obviously wearing a disguise. She's wearing the kind of disguise where she has one of those turkey neck skin features, a little tattoo on her arm, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, it's just, it's a whole cringy mess. NAU's corrupt as fuck. They're like broadcasting my time at the gym, and they're putting on advertisements while I'm at the gym. They're emailing me those same exact advertisements. They'll blast, instead of the gym playing fucking music so that everybody can just work out and have a good time, they put on some shit radio station, bribe the radio station to put on certain ads, and then they rake in some money because they're broadcasting ads through my brain and sending it out to everybody else. And it's so fucking cringy. I called them out on Google Maps for it. I was like, this is a shit gym. NAU is cheap as fuck. How the fuck are you going to be blasting ads, advertisement after advertisement after advertisement? I mean, we're not talking just one ad in between a couple of songs, in between like 5 songs, 10 songs. No, it's just advertisement after and everybody's trying to work out. And it's so fucking cringy, and it's so fucking obvious that they're just trying to grab at some cash where they can, because these dipshits blew billions of dollars trying to put me under a conservatorship and effectively trying to enslave me. They stop at nothing. They go to the extent of rape. They go to the extent of false imprisonment. They go to the extent of involving the president in the scheme, involving the cabinet in the scheme, involving very high-level military officials in the scheme. And, everybody just wants to line their pockets and, this is just how America works. This is how it's done. But nobody sees that, hey, maybe this is why we have a severe inequality issue. The issue isn't that this guy should just get bent over and robbed of all the damages that you calculated that he deserves to be compensated for. Maybe the issue is that the system is so fucking broken that people are incentivized to fuck each other over completely, time and time again, just so everybody can get a little bit of a bonus. I don't know, it just seems so fucking stupid and so fucking broken. And when people complain about housing, when people complain about school lunches, when people complain about potholes in the road, when people complain about government financing this or that, it's like, I understand national security is important. I understand defense spending is always going to have its place, especially being that the United States is basically fucking the new Sparta. I love it. I love this country. I love where I'm at. But you also have to be critical of your own country if you want it to be better. This isn't me going, long live China, fuck America. This is me saying, hey, I love America. I live here. Everybody that I love lives here. We want this place to be a little bit better. maybe the system shouldn't be robbing people of damages that you caused those very people. Maybe the system should be, hey, everybody go make a buck being a decent fucking person. Nothing about this has been a game. The people that run the game have been corrupt as fuck, whether we're talking about Jim Puhek, whether we're talking about the people that facilitate the military training exercise, such as Saif Abdullah. They're just generals and admirals abusing their powers. Nothing about this has been a game. Nothing about this has been informational. Nothing about this has been educational. It's just a huge fucking cash grab by a bunch of corrupt bastards and high-level military officials and people that are entrusted by the public to fulfill certain roles in the public's interest, including in national security, that ties into actual universities. People working at universities as public servants, not being public servants, but being really skeevy and corrupt bastards. It's also fucking gross, right? And at the end of the day, the way they try to get away with it is to give me an English lesson and try to coach me into writing some sort of response that conveys that I'm autistic. Well, guess what? That's not the response that I wrote up. I had my teammate Ewan. He's a kid that follows me from class to class. He has a bunch of the same classes as me. He's really fucking cringy, and he's very much in on the scheme of trying to set me up for failure, and he's always trying to pretend to be buddy-buddy with me. He was my partner for that project, and I had him just work on a couple of definitions, and of course for one of the definitions he chose was neurodivergent, right? That was a couple of the words that he chose. But for me, I went ahead and took the grammatical convention explanations, and I worked on that part of the project because I was very interested, and I was very understanding that it was in my interest to write up that the teacher was coaching us to write things a certain way, but in fact, in the real world, there is a non-autistic way of using grammatical conventions in the English language. Not everything is written down in a rule book the way things are actually done in the real world. And so, yeah, I think that conveys all of my most recent NAU escapades. There's some cringe other things going on, but this isn't the time or the place to discuss it. But I think what I conveyed shows that it very much is an organized effort. It shows that their desperate efforts are very transparent, very obvious, and very childish. It's like Lord of the Flies out here. A lot of fucking dimwits with security clearances because who knows whose butthole they were kissing. Yeah, and obviously there's some good people scattered throughout. You know, this isn't me saying everything is evil, everything is bad, the whole world is shitty. But these videos are about shitty people, right? So that's basically all you're going to hear about. But obviously, I've been blessed to bump into some good people on campus. I've been blessed to meet some nice people. But obviously, I have to keep my guard up just a little bit because of the very specific abuses of power and the very specific attempts at embezzling billions of dollars by using me as their little autistic vessel. And they even picked out a little autistic wife for me to try to get an arranged marriage going on. But I've decided that for now, I'm not going to be dating anybody. I have a ginormous crush on somebody, but even then I keep things as simple as possible because I don't want them to be some sort of vector of abuse. You know, I don't want them wrapped up in this mess. If anything, you know, everybody that I love from a distance. The other day, my mom tried texting me, "Hey, I'll always love you. I'll always miss you." And, you know, obviously I kept it PG when I texted her back. But the overall message was, shut the fuck up. You're so full of shit. Stay out of my life. Because she is very much involved in trying to set me up to look like her little autistic baby that she has a trust fund to set up for, that she gets to hire spies to follow me around out of, whether it's some retarded fucking Egyptians that she forces to live in the neighborhood and she makes me pick up from school, whether it be some fucking dipshit woman that she tries to force an arranged marriage with me to, you know, so on and so forth. And, you know, I just ditched my mom, I ditched her children, and I ditched her whole community because they're all pieces of shit, and they just, they're more interested in money than actually preserving some sort of family relationship. And so I moved on. You know, none of this was a joke. None of this was a military exercise. It's all very much real. They very much did imprison me. They very much did rape me, and they all very much are complicit in those parts of the effort. And they even threatened my life multiple times and said they would do it in the name of Islam. And it's like, fuck you, fuck your religion, fuck your countries that you come from that you try to use as an excuse to murder people or enslave people. You're all just a bunch of barbaric pieces of shit. I wish you would all die. And to be honest, I wouldn't go to their funerals. Because the things that they did to me for, you know, some 10 odd years now have not been a joke, has not been a military training exercise. It's all been so very shitty. You know, starting from Rebecca Bauer following me to my high school and putting on a little anti-Palestinian, pro-Israeli demonstration. She had a couple of her little actors throwing rocks standing nearby me, so she could try to make me guilty by association, because I'm waiting at a fucking bus stop for a bus and a couple of immature people are throwing rocks in the road. And so it's like, you know, I understand we have our national interests. I understand we have our strategic allies. But to be honest, it's like they always come at me with this, you're anti-Jewish, you're a Nazi propaganda just because my parents happen to be from Palestine or Syria or something. It's like, dude, stop trying to drag politics into my life. I live in America. I'm more American than you. You don't even know how to ride a fucking skateboard. Go fuck yourself. And, you know, I think that does it for this video. I think you can hear the rage start to seethe because some of these dimwits are so fucking stupid. I mean, some of them are literally so retarded that they were selected for one of the highest security clearances specifically because they were so fucking retarded it would be easy to rob them. So that tells you all you need to know about the premier units of the United States intelligence community and the United States military. Some of these individuals are so fucking retarded, they were selected because they were so fucking retarded, because it would be easier to rob of the security clearance compensation. I don't need to tell you why that's an issue for our national security. I think you can see it firsthand. You know, just go ahead and start with Lilia Bernanke. That's an excellent place to start. And then, you know, go ahead and peruse the rest of the autistic fucks in that unit. You know, God bless America. Fuck all these assholes. These people ain't public servants. They're a bunch of skeevy fucking scammers.